this being
Yeah, boss.
2025, everybody's doing their top 25 since the year 2000. We are in it, quarter of a century here, into the 2000s. And The Athletic decided to tackle the top 25 football programs of the 2000s, which is really, to me, this has been, I mean, think of the landscape shifts that we have seen since 2000, where this century started with the BCS in its infancy. And we have seen widespread conference realignment, the influx and injection of money. We have seen playoff expansion, and everything that you've seen grown across college football. It's been incredible to see the changing of the guard as it is. And you've seen national powers take nosedives at times.
Mm-hmm.
You have seen teams come out of nowhere and rise to prominence. Boise State.
Mm-hmm.
TCU has raised from the ashes.
Multiple iterations.
And because remember, they were part of the Southwest Conference.
Mm-hmm.
They got left behind, and then they had to carve their path right back into relevancy.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, have they done it. And then you've seen, like Miami and Notre Dame take massive hits. USC, even this century, winning national titles, has hit the skids and are trying to climb back out of it.
Texas.
Florida State with the legendary Florida State and Penn State, the legendary coaches that coached into the 2000s, they step aside and the programs go and they take a massive dip for various reasons. Penn State. But Florida State, they handed it to Jimbo. He goes and wins a national title, and then they go gone.
Yep.
And they go up and down. We've seen so many ebbs and flows that this is this is really interesting. Michigan, which was a national power and then became irrelevant for a few years. Then they come back and they win a national title. So basically the criteria that The Athletic used in this is win percentage, BCS and New Year's Six Bowl appearances, national titles, conference titles, top 10 wins, top 25 wins, top 10 rankings, top 25 rankings, and losing seasons. Okay? In this, if you look out west, they have 5 teams from the West. Coming in at 24th, which is one spot above the final team in this ranking, which was Michigan State at 25, is the Washington Huskies. And that's one of those programs that we've seen, they've gone through all of it. They have a win percentage of just over 500, which ranks 45th nationally. But they've been to 5 New Year's Six Bowls. They've won 4 conference titles. And they've been in the top 25 28 times, okay? But they've had 8 losing seasons. What they say about the Huskies here is Washington's modest win percentage in 8 losing seasons doesn't help its case to be included in these rankings, but the Huskies started the century with the number 3 finish in 2000 and returned to prominence in the 2010s with 3 consecutive double-digit win seasons and a playoff appearance under Chris Peterson before back-to-back top 10 seasons and a trip to the national title under Kalen DeBoer in the 2020s.
Mm-hmm. Pretty damn good.
That is pretty good. Pretty good. Utah comes in at 22nd, a team out west. They say Utah, then a member of the Mountain West, posted undefeated seasons in 2004 under Urban Meyer, 2008 under Kyle Whittingham, before moving up to the Pac-12. Whittingham has led the Utes to 4 double-digit win seasons since then, with Pac-12 titles in 21 and 22. But they're more often an 8 or 9 win team. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
They have one of the best coaches in all of college football.
Yeah, without doubt.
Consistently a winner. 22nd nationally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, boy.
When you start getting into it, though, it's very easy to see why they are where they are.
Yeah.
It's the top 25. When you're talking about 25 years, it's funny when, people give me hell about being a USC guy. It's like, oh, it's been so long ago. I'm like, yeah, if you go through the history of most programs, though, they don't have what even Utah has. Like, if you look at the entire history of most programs in the country, they can't come anywhere close to what Utah is.
No.
And that's just what they've done in 25 years.
Yeah, well, Boise State comes in at 20th on this. And the Boise State is one of the more incredible stories in all of college football because I think people forget that Boise State used to be a junior college. Like Dave Wilcox, legendary Oregon Duck, San Francisco 49er. Huh?
Nothing. I'm just taking a dig.
He went to Boise when it was a junior college. Then they were a D2 school. Then they were an FCS school. And then they became an FBS school. And they've won 81% of their games since 2000.
I don't care where you're playing football. That's insane.
That ranks second nationally. They've been to 4 BCS New Year's 6 games, 13 conference titles. My God. They have only 4 top 10 wins, though, 18 top 25 wins, and they've been in the top 10 and top 25 rankings 23 and 22 times, respectively. They have not had a losing season
this century.
What they say about them is figuring out where to rank Boise State was by far my biggest challenge. The Broncos' 81 win percentage in 0 losing seasons, even in a group of 5 leagues, are remarkable, as are their Fiesta Bowl appearances, including 2 wins. But the relatively few ranked wins are a reminder of the level of competition. So they're at 20th there.
But here's something to consider here. The whole, the reminder of competition thing notwithstanding here, if it's so easy to do at lower levels, why aren't more teams doing it?
Yeah, right? Well, but you see those teams usually get the invitation to in a seat with the big boys. Utah got it. TCU got it. Central Florida got it. Cincinnati got it.
And we've seen them have their runs. We saw Boise State against Oklahoma. We saw TCU against.
No, I'm talking in a conference of with the Giants.
Sure.
Like all of every single one of the schools that I named, they've gotten a seat in a power conference, and they've run with those opportunities.
Boise State going into the Pac-12 is going to be quote unquote a step up in a sense, and I mean it will. It's above the Mountain West. We know that. But it's not what it used to be. But when those schools have been afforded those opportunities in bowl games or in playoffs or BCS, like they've gotten it done. Like TCU getting hammered in a national title game happened, but they won the game before to get there.
Yep.
Like these smaller schools, these lessers, when they've gotten opportunities, Utah with Urban Meyer, like they've gotten it done, and they're like. That's why they get on these lists. That's why they end up having these staying powers. And that's why when you look at it's not just a flash. Like TCU's more cyclical, but you look at the Utahs and the Boise States of the world, they've got it pretty dialed in.
The interesting part, Boise State has always been one of those schools that they're not a research institution, so that was hard for them to get into the Pac-12. And they were almost too good for their own good. Because they didn't have any downs. They just kept winning. USC comes in at 8th on this list. They are ahead of Florida at 10th and Texas at 9th, which is pretty impressive when you think of where USC is and how good Texas and Florida have. Texas has 2 national titles, or Florida has 2 national titles. Since 2000, Texas has 1. USC, though, has won 70% of their games. They've been to 8 New Year's 6 bowls, 2 national titles, 7 conference titles, 21 top 10 wins, 57 top 25 wins, and then they rank 9th and 10th in top 10 rankings and top 25 rankings. So pretty good.
Yeah, it's all right.
They say USC is appearing in the top 10 is a testament to how dominant the Trojans were under Pete Carroll from 2006 to 2008 when it went 82-9, won 6 consecutive Pac-12 titles, 2 national crowns. While it feels like USC has been struggling ever since, it's added 4 more double-digit win seasons and 3 New Year's 6 bowl bids.
It's the difference in the bar.
But this is where they even mention it in the rundown. Oregon is 7th. 74% of their games they have won. They've gone to 10 BCS and New Year's 6 bowl games. They have 0 national titles, 8 conference titles. They have 23 top 10 wins, 25 top 25 wins, 60 of them. They've been in the top 10 44% of the time since 2000, and they've been in the top 25 74% of the time, they have had only 2 losing seasons. They say some may scoff at the ranking with Oregon this high without having won a national championship, but every other data point is that of an elite program. The Ducks' 182 weeks spent in the AP top 10 are higher than the likes of LSU, Clemson, and Texas, among others, and they've been to more BCS New Year's Six Bowls than USC, Michigan, and Notre Dame.
Mhm.
Oregon coming in at number 7 here with 0 titles. If you look at every other team that is in the top 10 in the last 25 years, they have all won a title. Oregon has not, and that has been the big mountain to climb for Oregon. If you look at the top 12 teams, which goes back to Florida State at 12, Michigan at 11, every single one of the top 12, except for Oregon, has won a national title. And that has been the one thing that Oregon keeps on chasing, but they're just saying at The Athletic, every other metric, they've been as good, if not better, than anybody else in the country.
They've had the markers. Yep.
Yeah.